Every season, we are gifted with a number of fantastic out-of-conference matchups in college football. This season will be no different, as there are a number of great games featuring teams that aren't in the same conference. I might be missing some, but I did my best to go through the entire schedule and find some great games that I'm sure will deliver. Before we get to today's video, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on those notifications if you're new to the channel. If you love college football, this is definitely the place for you. Also, before we get to the games, drop a comment down below and tell me which non-conference game you're looking forward to the most in 2021. It helps the algorithm with the video, and it helps share this video with more college football fans. We're going to kick this video off with arguably the best game of the entire college football season, and we're getting it in week 1. Clemson and Georgia square off in Charlotte for their first game of the year. Now, this very well could be a national championship matchup. It's not often we get these kind of games between two teams in the regular season, let alone in the first week. This will be a huge playoff resume booster for whoever wins, and very well could cost the losing team a shot at the playoff. Georgia leads the all-time series 39-16 with 4 ties. They haven't played since 2014 though. Assuming both of these teams are ranked in the top 10, which is all but likely at this point, this will be only the second time these teams have ever met when both ranked in the top 10. The other matchup was in 2013 when Georgia was 5th and Clemson was 8th. Here's a fun and crazy stat that I found on the NCAA website. In 1980, Georgia beat Clemson by 4 points in September and then ended up winning the national championship. Then the next season, Clemson beat Georgia in September and they won their own national championship that season. So maybe history repeats itself here, and whoever wins this game will take home the national championship in 2021. Up next is another matchup that we get in the first week of the season, Alabama versus Miami. The Tide lead the all-time season series 14-3. Their last matchup came in the 1993 Sugar Bowl when number 2 Alabama defeated number 1 Miami. The Tide have actually won 11 of the last 12 meetings. I really wish I could get more excited for this game featuring two historically good teams. The last I checked though, Alabama was favored by nearly 3 touchdowns in this game, and we all pretty much know what the result's going to be. However, maybe the Hurricanes can actually surprise us and deliver a really competitive game. On September 18th, one of the more classic rivalries in college football returns. For the first time since 2010, Oklahoma and Nebraska will square off. The Sooners lead the all-time series 45-38 with 3 ties, and they won 5 of the last 6 matchups. During the 90s though, Nebraska beat Oklahoma 7 straight times during their historically dominant stretch. A lot has changed though since these two teams met a decade ago. They're in different conferences, and both teams have been going in opposite directions as of late. Oklahoma has been in the playoff hunt every season, whereas Nebraska, well, they've been battling to stay above 500. Still, in a game like this, all bets are off. I still expect the Sooners to win this game fairly easily, but again, you never know with these kind of games. What I do know is that seeing these two teams face each other again will be awesome to see. For the first weekend in October, we get a very underrated non-conference game, but it very well could be the biggest game of the year for both of these teams. The Cincinnati Bearcats will travel on the road to face Notre Dame. Cincinnati had a fantastic season in 2020, and they nearly went undefeated. I personally thought that they should have received more playoff consideration, but hey, that's all good. But 2021 is actually going to be their year to prove that they're worthy of a playoff spot to the committee, and they're going to have a chance to go on the road and beat Notre Dame. If the Bearcats can go into Notre Dame and upset the Irish somehow, that right there should be a good enough win to earn them a spot in the college football playoff in 2021. Assuming that they finish the regular season undefeated again. Desmond Ridder returns, and so does a lot of talent for Cincinnati. This is going to be the first ever matchup between the two schools. A few weeks into the season, we're going to get another intriguing matchup, as Auburn is going to travel and face Penn State. This will be the 3rd ever matchup for these schools, but the first that comes during the regular season. Back in 1996, these teams met in the Outback Bowl, with Penn State winning by 30. Then, in 2003, they met in the Capital One Bowl, with Auburn coming out on top with a 13-9 win. Get this crazy stat that I found out. This matchup is going to somehow be Auburn's first regular season game against a Big Ten team ever. I'm not exactly sure how that's possible, but it somehow is. This game likely won't have playoff implications, but I expect each of these teams to be fighting for a conference championship spot in 2021. Plus, it's always cool seeing regular season matchups between top 25 teams that you usually don't see on a year-to-year basis. Before we get into the next 5, if you could give this video a thumbs up, I would greatly appreciate it. It helps share the video with more college football fans, and it only takes a second to do. The next matchup comes in the second week of the college football season. We didn't get to see them play last year, but at least we get the matchup this year. Oregon travels to Columbus and will take on Ohio State. The Buckeyes lead this all-time series 9-0, with their most recent meeting coming in the national title game back in 2015 when Ohio State won by 3 touchdowns. Before that, Ohio State beat them in the 2010 Rose Bowl. Prior to that though, these teams hadn't played in the regular season since 1987, so it's been some time. This will be a tough matchup for the Ducks, as it's tough for any team to go on the road and win a game in Columbus. This will be a huge resume booster for either team, as I think both Ohio State and Oregon are going to be in the playoff hunt all year. I myself personally would love to see the Pac-12 pick up this crazy victory, but I'm not expecting it to happen. Nonetheless, it's still going to be a fantastic matchup. The next one is a game that's not really getting that much hype, but I think this has a chance to be one of the best games of Week 1. Louisiana is going to travel to Austin and play the Texas Longhorns. Now, the Ragin' Cajuns don't have a great history with Texas, as they've lost their 2 games against them by a combined 99 points. But I think this game will be a tad bit different. Louisiana is coming off the best season in program history, and they're likely going to start the season in the top 25 for the first time ever. They're a damn good team, and Texas very well could be on upset watch, even if you want to call it that. This is a new look Longhorns team that's going to have a new coach, a new quarterback, and it's going to be the first game of the season, so I'm sure they're all going to be amped up. Just don't be surprised if Louisiana picks up a Power 5 win on the road, just like they did last season at Iowa State. We'll get to another Big Ten Pac-12 matchup in the second week of the season, with this one being Washington traveling on the road to Ann Arbor to play Michigan. This was another matchup that got wiped out last season. Michigan leads the all-time series 7-5, with the last game coming back in 2002, when Michigan won a thriller by 2 points. Of their 12 meetings, 8 have come in the regular season, with 4 coming in the Rose Bowl. Another crazy stat is that both of these teams have been ranked when playing each other over their last 8 games. I don't expect both these teams to be ranked in the top 25 to begin the season, so this is likely going to be the first game that both won't be ranked since 1970. This will be a very interesting matchup because I honestly have no clue what to make of Washington and Michigan. I think that the Huskies can be a potential threat in the Pac-12 and maybe even a sleeper in the playoff. But I also wouldn't be shocked if they finish the season 8-4. Michigan, well, I think we all know what we can expect out of them also. They're going to win probably 8 or 9 games and finish their season with a pretty big loss to Ohio State. But hey, anytime we get a Rose Bowl matchup not in the Rose Bowl, it's pretty exciting. The next one will be a game we get every year, so it's different than all the games on this list that I've already mentioned. Still, this is set to be the best Iowa State game in some time. Iowa leads the all-time series 45-19, including winning the last 5 and 9 of the last 12. However, this year is going to be different, as it looks to be the best Iowa State team we've seen in some time. This matchup also has a chance to be historic. In the 64 previous meetings, the Cyclones have only been ranked 1 time, when they were ranked number 20 back in 1978. Aside from that, they've never been ranked in one of these games. If both Iowa and Iowa State are ranked in this game, it's going to be the first ever matchup where both of these teams are ranked. For those of you interested in the history of this rivalry, these teams met for the first time back in 1899. They played 21 times through 1934 and then didn't play again until 1977. With the exception of last season, they've played every year since 77. The Cyclones don't have a lot of great history in this game, but I think this has a chance to potentially be their best showing yet. We're going to wrap up this list with a game all the way in November, but this is one to mark on your calendars. Ole Miss will host Liberty for the first ever meeting between these two programs. Usually, SEC schools have a very easy win set up for them in November, but this is going to be anything but easy for the Rebels. The Flames are coming off their best season in program history and are likely going to be a top 25 team in 2021. They're going to be led by Malik Willis, who I have as a potential Heisman sleeper for this season. I think the Flames are going to be a damn good team this year. Meanwhile, I know it's been some time since we saw a good Ole Miss squad, but this is a Rebels team who could make some noise in 2021. Matt Corral is easily one of the best quarterbacks in the nation, and they're going to score a lot of points under Lane Kiffin. If you want a high-scoring affair between two of the best quarterbacks in the country, this game will be for you on November 4th. Well, that wraps up my video for the 10 best non-conference games of the 2021 college football season. Which game are you looking forward to the most? Or was there a non-con game that I didn't mention that you'd like to see in my next video? Drop a comment down below and let me know. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on those notifications. If you love college football, then this is definitely the place for you. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video.